Sadi Gaura Bhaktavri. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1. And we have been hearing how Vasudeva gave his first child born to Kamsa. Kamsa said, no, it's okay, I'm not going to kill him, don't worry. But then Vasudeva knew, that Kamsa can go back on his word at any moment. And then Narad Muni also comes and tells to Kamsa, that all these, the demigods have taken birth in the Yadu dynasty. What did he say is that they are all going to be killed. These demoniac kings are going to be killed. That's what Narad Muni told him. So then guns got more and more fearful. So reading on, Risher Vinir Game Kamso
Rishi Vini Game Kamso
Yadun Matva Suran Iti
Yadun Matva Suran Iti
Devakya Garbha Sambhutam
Devakya Garbha Sambhutam
Vishnum Cha Svavadam Prati
Vishnum Cha Swavadam Prati
Devakim Vasudevam Cha
Devakim Vasudevam Cha
Nikriya Nikader Grihe
Nikriya Nigadir Grihe
Jatam Jatam Ahan Putram
Jatam Jatam Ahan Putram
Tayor Ajana Shankaya.
Tayor Ajana Shankaya.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. After the departure of the great Saint Narad, Kamsa thought that all the members of the Yadu dynasty were demigods, and that any of the children born from the womb of Devaki might be Vishnu. Fearing his death, Kamsa arrested Vasudeva and Devaki and chained them with iron shackles. Suspecting each of the children to be Vishnu, Kamsa killed them one after another because of the prophecy that Vishnu would kill him. Srila Jiva Goswami in his notes on this verse has mentioned how Narad Muni gave Kamsa this information. This incident is described in the Hari Vamsha. So Srila Prabhupada, he is giving us the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami as is coming in Hari Vamsha. Narad Muni went to see Kamsa by providence, and Kamsa received him very well. Narad therefore informed him that any one of the sons of Devaki might be Vishnu. Because Vishnu was to kill him, Kamsa should not spare any of Devaki's children, Narad Muni advised. Narad's intention was that Kamsa, by killing the children, would increase his sinful activities so that Krishna would soon appear to kill him. Upon receiving the instructions of Narad Muni, Kamsa killed all the children of Devaki one after another. So Narad Muni tells Kamsa, any child of Devaki can kill. It's Vishnu after all. And then Kamsa also so fearful that he killed all Devaki's children. So why did Narad Muni do that? Why did he give this news to Kamsa?
So that Krishna would come quicker,
Yeah,
faster.
faster. Yeah, they were all eager to see Krishna. So it's more and more sinful activities Kamsa will do, then Krishna will come up sooner. Also, there is the six children actually were the children of Kalanemi in their previous life. They were cursed to be killed. Kamsa was Kalanemi. he was killed by Vishnu in his previous life. And these 6 sons were his children. They were actually cursed by Hiranyakaship, that because they worship Lord Brahma, and he got upset at them. So he said, you should have worshipped me. Why are you worshipping Brahma? Now in next life you're going to be killed by your own father. So that's how it's arranged. That kills the 6 children of Devaki in the next life. And then these 6 children are said to represent. Does anyone know what do they represent? Well, they
Is it the
represent.
vices?
Huh? I'm sorry.
The vices in us? No.
The vice. Yes, that's right. Yes. The Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mad, Matsarya.
No.
Yeah, the
Okay.
lust, greed, anger, envy, illusion. One more I'm forgetting. Pride. So these 6. And then when these 6 are killed from in our heart, then
We get
the Guru
purified.
appears. Hmm? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
We get purified.
Balaramji appeared. We get
Oh,
purified. Balaramji, then the Guru. The heart is purified. Then the 7th child is Lord Balaram. He makes arrangements for Krishna to come. Then Krishna sits in our heart. So in this age of Kali, how to kill these vice in our heart? What shall we do?
by chanting, hearing and
Yes,
chanting.
yeah, that's right. The hearing and chanting. Okay. The word Ajana Shankaya indicates that Lord Vishnu never takes birth. Ajana. And that he therefore appeared as Krishna, taking birth just like a human being. Manushim Tanum Ashritam. Kamsa attempted to kill all the babies born of Devaki and Vasudeva, although he knew that if Vishnu were born, he would not be killed. Actually, it came to pass that when Vishnu appeared as Krishna, Kamsa could not kill him. Rather, as foretold, it was he who killed Kamsa. One should know in truth how Krishna, who takes his birth transcendentally, acts to kill the demons, but is never killed. So Janmashtami, Saturday coming up, Janmashtami. But Krishna is called Ajana, never born. And we are celebrating Janmashtami year after year, since 5,000 years. But Krishna's appearance is transcendental, divyam, spiritual. So Krishna is never killed. Krishna comes in his own spiritual body. It's just his leelas become manifest and then aprakat, unmanifest. When he went back to Golok, he also went back in his own spiritual body. When one perfectly understands Krishna in this way, through the medium of Shastra, one becomes immortal. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti surjana. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So Krishna is saying, just understand my activities, my appearance is all divyam, transcendental. And then come and live with me in Golok Vrindavan, in the spiritual world. Once we understand this, we don't need to be in the material world anymore. Get liberation. Go to the spiritual sky. Mataram Pitaram Bratran
Mataram Pitaram Bhratrin
Sarvamscha Suhridastatha
Sarvamscha Suhridastatha
Granantihi asutrupo lubdha
Granantihi
अश्रुपो लुब्धा
Rajana prayasho bhuvi.
Rajana Prayasho Bhuvi.
Kings greedy for sense gratification on this earth almost always kill their enemies indiscriminately. To satisfy their own whims, they may kill anyone, even their mothers, fathers, brothers, or friends. We have seen in the history of India that Aurangzeb killed his brother and nephews and imprisoned his father to fulfill political ambitions. There have been many similar instances, and Kamsa was the same type of king. Kamsa did not hesitate to kill his nephews and imprison his sister and his father. For demons to do such things is not astonishing. Nonetheless, although Kamsa was a demon, he was aware that Lord Vishnu cannot be killed, and thus he attained salvation. So, although Kamsa was fearful and he was killing all the babies, he knew that he won't be able to kill Vishnu. He knew that somehow. You know, it was meant to be that he had to be killed by Vishnu. He was aware that God cannot be killed. So even partial understanding of the activities of Lord Vishnu makes one eligible for salvation. Kamsa knew a little about Krishna, that he could not be killed, and therefore he attained salvation, although he thought of Vishnu, Krishna, as an enemy. What then is to be said of one who knows Krishna perfectly from the descriptions of Shastras like Bhagavad Gita? It is therefore the duty of everyone to read Bhagavad Gita and understand Krishna perfectly. This will make one's life successful. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, Kans, he was a demon. He just knew one thing, that Krishna can't be killed. And of course, he always thought that Krishna is his enemy. And he got liberation. So then what is to be said of someone who actually tries to understand Krishna from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam? For sure, then one will go back home, back to Krishna, to the spiritual world. Atmanam iha san sanjatam
आत्मानं इह
Sanjata
संजातं
janan prag vishnuna hatam
Jana
जानन्
Pravishnuna
प्रविष्णुनां हतम्
maha asuram kalenim mim
महाअसुरं
Mahasuram
काले
Kale Nenim
yadubi sa vyarudyata.
Yadu
यदुभीषा व्यरुध्यत
Vyarudayata
In his previous birth, Kamsa had been a great demon named Kalanemi and been killed by Vishnu. Upon learning this information from Narad, Kamsa became envious of everyone connected with the Yadu dynasty. Persons who are demons, enemies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are called Asuras. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Asuras, because of their enmity toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead, take birth after birth in Asura families and therefore glide down to the darkest hellish regions. So Krishna says that those who are demonic, they from birth after birth, they are taking life after life, they are taking birth in demon families, in demoniac species. Here we can see comes as a demon. And in his previous life also he was a demon. He was Kalanemi. So because of so much envy of God, Ugrasenam cha pitaram
Ugrasenam Cha Pitaram
पितरं
yadu puja andakadipam
Yadu
यदुभोजनाधिकाधितं
swayam nikraya babuje.
Swayam Nikriya Bhuje
ग्रहभुजे
Shurasenan Mahabalaha.
Shurasenan Mahabalaha.
Kamsa, the most powerful son of Ugrasen, even imprisoned his own father, the king of the Yadu, Bhoja, and Andhaka dynasties, and personally ruled the states known as Shurasen. The state known as Mathura was also included within the states known as Shurasen. So additional notes for this chapter regarding transmigration of the soul, Srila Madhvacharya gives the following notes. When one is awake, whatever one sees or hears is impressed upon the mind, which later works in dreams to show one different experiences. Although in dreams one appears to accept a different body. For example, when one is awake, one does business and talks with customers. And similarly, in dreams, one meets various customers, talks about business, and gives quotations. Madhvacharya says, therefore, that dreams take place according to what one sees, hears, and remembers. So, Prabhupada is giving us the commentary by Madhvacharya here. Madhvacharya, Stacharya in our line. And he says that what we experience during the day, those things we see in the dreams, whatever we have heard or seen or experienced or remember. When one reawakens, of course, one forgets the body of the dream. This forgetfulness is called apasmriti. Thus, we are changing bodies because we are sometimes dreaming, sometimes awake, and sometimes forgetful. Forgetfulness of our previously created body is called death, and our work in the present body is called life. After death, one cannot remember the activities of one's previous body, whether imaginary or factual. Right? We forget. We have also been alive before in another body, but we completely don't have any idea who we are. We forget. Similarly, in the dream, when we are dreaming, we forget we are in the body. Then we just think that we are in the dream only. And then when we wake up, we forget that dream. So we are in the constant state of remembering forgetfulness. The agitated mind is compared to agitated water, reflecting the sun and moon. Actually, the sun and moon reflected on the water do not exist there. Nonetheless, they are reflected according to the movements of the water. So the reflection of the sun and moon on the water. So if we try to grab the reflection, will we be able to catch the sun and moon?
No.
No, yeah, because it's just a reflection. So similarly, when our minds are agitated, we wander in different material atmospheres and receive different types of bodies. This is described in Bhagavad Gita as Guna Sangha Karanam Guna Sangosya. Madhvacharya says Guna Nubbadda San. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says Brahmanda Brahmata Brahmite Kona Bhagya Vanji. Caitaniya Caritamita Madhya 19:151. So because of our mind, we can see the agitation of our mind. We are wandering about the universe, one species to another, one species to another. The living entity rotates up and down throughout the universe, sometimes in the upper planetary system, sometimes in the middle and lower planetary systems, sometimes as a man, sometimes a god, a dog, a tree, and so on. This is all due to the agitation of the mind. The mind must therefore be steadily fixed. As it is said, Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. One should fix one's mind at the lotus feet of Krishna, and then one will become free from agitation. So the mind is agitated. It's taking us in various species, sometimes demigod, sometimes animal. So how to stop this? Fix the mind on lotus feet of Krishna. This is the instruction of the Garud Puran. And in the Naradiya Puran, the same process is described. So Garud Puran is telling us we are going from one life to another, one species to another. And the way to get out is fix the mind on Krishna. Also, Naradiya Puran is telling the same thing. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. The agitated mind goes to different planetary systems because it is attached to different kinds of demigods. But one does not go to the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by worshipping the demigods, for this is not supported by any Vedic literature. So Krishna says, whoever we worship, we will go there. We worship demigods, we will go to the planet of the demigods. We worship the ancestors, we will go to the planet of the ancestors. We worship the ghosts, we will take birth among such beings, and we worship him, we will go to his planet, Golok Vrindavan. So man is the architect of his own fortune. We can see our destiny is in our hand. We are the architect of our own fortune. In this human life, one has the facility with which to understand one's real situation, and one can decide whether to wander around the universe forever or return home back to Godhead. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Aprapya mam nivartante, mrityu samsara vartamani. So the choice is ours. Do we want to continue to wander around the universe? Sometimes as demigod, sometimes as man, or sometimes as animal. Or do we want to get out of this cycle of birth and death and go back home, back to Godhead, to be with Krishna eternally, in the eternal sky? This goes on a little longer. We'll stop here. Any comments?
Yeah, that part, like what it says also that your previous birth is death.
Previous birth is death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the present, yes. Present birth, what you are in, it's your life, present life. But the previous birth that you've forgotten, yeah, that is death. And
Yeah.
but there's something like new, yeah. The way it was explained.
Yeah. Actually, we are afraid of death, but we have died
Yeah,
many times before,
we
you
have
know.
lied, yes, yeah.
We have always kept on dying. And that's how we know that, okay, my time in this body is temporary. Although we act thinking we are going to be here forever, but somehow deep down we know, oh, okay, one day I have to leave this body.
And so much we see, we hear that, oh, the sudden, right? Suddenly a person goes away. So it's not in our hands. We know it is temporary, but still
Yeah.
we forget about it. And we think
Yeah.
that, yeah, we can live forever.
Right.
When that
Isn't it
comes,
so
we don't know.
amazing
Yeah,
that we forget? We see people around us leaving us,
leaving
our
us. Yeah,
loved ones,
yeah.
and yet we feel it's never going to happen to us.
It's not going to happen with us. Yeah.
You know, this is what the Yaksha had asked Yudhishthir Maharaj, what is the most amazing thing you see? When his brothers drank the water from the lake and they died. And then the Yaksh was there and he said, okay, you give me correct answer and I'll keep bringing them back to life. One of the questions he asked was this, what is the most amazing thing? And Yudhishthira Maharaj said, amazing thing is we see around us people dying. We see death all around us. Yet the most amazing thing is we think it's never going to come to us. So now that we have this human life, whatever time we have here, we can we can engage in devotional service. We can hear and chant about Krishna. We can make attempts to make this life our last life, so that we don't have to see death again and again. Then, one time and finish up the matter. Go back to the spiritual world to be with Krishna. One day, all the days, and it will be so nice. Stop here.
Yes.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you.